Today's date is September 12th, 2024. We are in person as well as virtually today at the Washington State Gambling Commission Lacey office. This is a special commission meeting due to an unexpected change in the meeting location. It is 9:34 a.m. Today's meeting will be recorded. If you wish to provide public comment, please raise your hand to be recognized. Once recognized, please state your name. Written comments on today's agenda items should have been received by email on our website by close of business yesterday, September 11th. The chat feature has been turned off. If you have technical difficulties, please email us at askus@wsgc.wa.gov. I will call the roll. We have Vice Chair Steinmore here, Commissioner Lawson here, Commissioner Batson is excused for the day, Senator Conway. Senator Foley, Representative Cloven, Representative Robertson.
Here.
Morning. Right, so we will start with the consent agenda, which is the August 8th Commission meeting, new licenses, Class 3 gaming employees, and company clothing list. Is there any public comment on any of those?
I think that's one adjustment. It showed me as virtual last meeting. Small thing, but just accurate. So I would need to adopt a consent agenda with that. And then
Okay. Moved with amendments. Second. Right, moved and seconded. All those say aye. Favor say aye. Aye. All right. Motion passes. We have the executive director report.
So start with the staff updates. After a competitive recruitment process with internal and external candidates based on between views, was promoted to the agent in charge of the regulation of safety. As other years of experience in the agency as well as in the office of Washington. So very in that new position. Also happy to announce that we had Tricia Leon starting on Monday as our new legislative appeals manager. She has a great deal of Washington legislative experience, and she has worked in similar positions and roles in various industry groups, as well as for the House and the Senate here in Washington. Just an update on our to double fill deputy director positions so that we can have some that new person have some deputy director. Drumheller before he retires May, June time period. So we have chosen a national recruitment firm that are here in Washington State. Redmond Associates, they have been listed in the top 20 government recruiters for 2022-2023. And they do have experience filling executive level positions for Washington State and the agencies. So we have begun working with them, and we expect the agreement to begin shortly. Also, just want to take a few minutes to highlight the work that our current staff is doing. Our staff is recognized for this as subject matter experts related to gambling and gambling records, and as such, various state, local, and federal agencies call upon us to assist them with their cases, which are expertise. So we have such occurrences. I try to bring these forward more often. Staff assisted in the execution of the search warrant and identification of records and evidence related to the cockfighting in King County this last month. The counties assisted, as well as the county animal control, which we have worked very closely with years. And then also assisted with an investigation of city employee who appropriated $2 million. So just really pleased with able to maybe since the agencies that will in the packet was listed that there was a disordered gambling advisory work group meeting to be held on Tuesday, which would have been September 10th. That scheduled quarterly work group meeting was canceled by HCA, who oversees the work group. And just a reminder that that work group was formed by statute in 2023, purpose of which is to work with various industry members to implement problem gambling task force recommendations that were outlined in their final 2022 final report. Next meeting is December 11, 2024. Just a quick update on Polaris. This is the IT modernization project for our legacy systems. We have entered into contract negotiations. The contract will be signed and executed soon, but we've already begun preparatory work. The first thing will be a discovery phase for 3 months, and we will provide more detail. Hopefully, in the next month or two, we'll give you a more detailed outline of what that next phase will look like. And then lastly, we had just an update on One Washington. It's a big project that I have not shared much about, but it is an enterprise, a statewide enterprise project that it's going in terms of its development and implementation, follows the same path and line that our Polaris project does. But obviously, we're not the ones leading this, but it does involve our business office as well as our human resources office. And it is a multi-phase approach over quite a few years. So we are in phase 1E right now, which is to replace the 1960s era, basically general accounting system for the state. It's a bit of a project. So, Crescenda and her staff have really been having to take up their time in making sure that they're going through all those phases as a very big participant in terms of preparing for when this goes live on July 1st of 2025. What processes need to be amended because of the new systems requirements and limitations versus what they do today, and their testing requirements right now that they can part of. It's just really preparing for that next phase. So it's taking up quite a bit of their time. And then we're prepared for HR to start working, begin working with their development phase 2 in October of next year. But we were asked as part of this enterprise project and for all of the agencies to come up with estimates for resource needs for implementation. And so as you saw in the report, as outlined in the report, we have requested 2 FTE positions for phase 2, which is biennial 26 and 27, or fiscal years 26 and 27. One to assist with the HR implementation, and then 1.5 positions to assist with the business office phase implementation. So it wasn't the Gambling Commission making this package request. This is part of the enterprise. We'll do it as a whole for Washington. So we'll keep you updated in terms of our request. That's received.
Are they permanent or for the?
Just for that way, for the implementation period. I don't know what happens today. Thank you.
I apologize for interrupting, but we're hearing from online that we can't hear anyone on the mics. They're very soft, so please speak directly into the mics, pull them a little closer. They're just not as sensitive as our other locations are.
Okay. Next up, we have agency request legislation with Executive Director Griffin.
Oh, with that, this is tab 2 in your packet.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if we could ask the director to put the microphone toward the middle. Thank you. You're cutting in and out. I think that's what they were talking about. The microphone on the podium isn't toward, so that'll help. Thank you.
Thank you.
But if I do a mic test now, is that better?
Yes, thank you.
You should know for the record that Robertson is.
He was here during roll call. I believe Senator Conway may have joined the meeting now.
Okay, agency request legislation. Staff is proposing an amendment to the Public Records Act to exempt proprietary financial and security information collected and maintained by the Gambling Commission. The last update to the Public Records Act to exempt information collected by the Gambling Commission was in 2007. This request is tied to the governor's priorities of having a healthy and safe community, as well as efficient, effective, and accountable government. Public Records Act requires state agencies to make records available to the public unless the records are explicitly exempt from the Public Records Act for disclosure. The provisions requiring public records disclosure must be interpreted liberally, while the exemptions are interpreted narrowly to effectuate a general policy favoring disclosure. So currently, Public Records Act exempts the following records from the gambling. The following records the Gambling Commission maintains. Specifically in this one section, there are other sections of the Public Records Act that will are more broad that can certainly be applied. But specifically for the Gambling Commission, financial account numbers, values, and other identification numbers, as well as internal controls of independent auditors' reports, and financial statements and supporting documentations of house bank partners, licensees, or those that were submitted by the tribes. So we are seeking to amend RCW 4256-270 to update the exempted records from disclosure to protect the assets of gambling applicants and gambling operators, as well as for the personal safety of gaming patrons and licensees employees, and the integrity of gambling equipment that is used in operation of the state. So some of the examples that have been added to the RCW that we're seeking to amend provides examples of types of records of the proprietary financial security information typically found that we collect and are provided. So the reason we've really outlined all of those records is so that the exemption can be interpreted narrowly. Again, to make sure that the general policy is being applied in favor of disclosure. So this will, because they're so much more precise in the description of what information is we are looking to exempt, it will be easier to apply by. There is no fiscal impact. You have a fiscal note in the packet, and we have had extensive stakeholder as well as tribal partner outreach. Starting in July, we sent an initial letter outlining our request, as well as an initial e-draft to tribal leaders, their representatives, as well as licensees and stakeholders who have asked to receive any information and communications by the WSGC. So that notice went out to over 700 recipients. We also did further outreach with the Lottery Commission, AAG, as well as Mr. Thompson. He is Vice Chair of the Sunshine Committee. We also held listening sessions with tribal partners as well as the public to get feedback for this proposed legislation. We did receive some feedback. Information is in your packet regarding from 2 licensees, as well as Mr. Thompson, Vicki Christopherson, as well as tribal partners. All feedback was considered and changes were made, which is why we are on draft 002-4.3, which was posted on the website on Wednesday when we received that final draft. Commissioners have it before you. It is the same language that was in the packet as posted last week in the unformatted version, because it took last Friday to this Wednesday to get the draft back. So the language is the same, and it is posted on the website. You will see an updated fiscal note that is tied to this particular draft. And again, no fiscal impact. So the agency request legislation for all agencies is due to be submitted to governor's office for review and approval on September 13th, which is tomorrow. Staff asks that you consider the proposed agency request legislation before you to be submitted to the governor for consideration.
Commissioners? Any public comments? I move to approve agency request for proprietary financial and security information as presented by staff.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. We will now move to tab 3, which is a rule up for final action, aligning the license expiration dates with Adam Cameron.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
For the record, Adam, interim rules coordinator. Today, we are discussing the staff proposed rule to align organizational license expiration dates to June 30th of each year. This rulemaking would take the form of amending existing rules and adding additional rules to the WAC chapters 230.03, 230.05, and 230.06. To give a brief history of this rule, at the May 2024 meeting, commissioners initiated rulemaking to explore aligning the expiration date for organizational licenses. And on June 24th, staff held a meeting with travel partners to hear feedback regarding sports wagering, including sports wagering vendor licenses and this rule change. Commissioners discussed and filed the CR 102 in July, and now we are up for final action. Just to give a brief history of the reasoning, currently organizational licenses expire at the end of the quarter, depending on when the licensing commission is approved. This rule would align all organizational license expiration dates to June 30th of each year. And the hope is that this rule will aid in forecasting as well as simplify implementation and communication to licensees when adjusting fees in future. Staff recommends that the commission take final action on the amendments to WAC 230.06.025 after holding a public hearing with an effective date of 31 days after filing with the Office of the Code Bureau.
Do you have any questions for Adam? Any commissioners? Questions? Any public comment? Motion.
I move to take final action on aligning license expiration date rules as presented by staff to be effective 31 days after filing with the code revisor.
Second.
Right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we are up to tab 4, rule for final action, minimum cash on hand with Adam.
Thank you. So this is our minimum cash on hand rule, as mentioned. This rule kind of began in November 2023 when commissioners asked staff to work with stakeholders to determine if rulemaking could address stakeholder concerns regarding the minimum cash on hand requirements for house bank card rooms. Staff did just that, worked with stakeholders, and came up with the attached rules. These proposed rules mostly do 4 things. They require card game licensees to exchange chips for cash unless the player requests payment by check. They change the formula for determining the amount of cash on hand to be required in the cage, safe, or vault for house bank card rooms. They allow for specific prizes to be paid by check, and they require house bank card room licensees to have sufficient funds to pay fixed-based prizes off. At the May 2024 Commission meeting, commissioners discussed the proposed rule changes altered the amended language and authorized filing the new amended rules. Following the May 2024 meeting, staff filed the CR 102 with the Office of the Code Revisor. Included in that was a small business economic impact statement. In August, commissioners discussed the proposed rules, but elected to hold off on taking final action to give more time for recent stakeholder feedback from one of the representatives from MAC Gaming. That feedback was submitted the day before the commission meeting in August, so we wanted more time to explore the impacts of that feedback. We did look at that feedback. We had an opportunity to discuss with the stakeholder, and after review and discussion, staff recommended changing the word must to may in WAC 230-15-050 subsection 1. And the reason for this change would to allow more flexibility in the way the card rooms are able to pay prizes. The remainder of the feedback proposed by the stakeholder, after some clarifying comments and some education, they elected to not pursue those group changes that they had initially. So today, staff is recommending that the commission take final action on the amendments, showing that we have reverted the language to may in the beforementioned subsection. And additionally, there is one more change. It's a small typographical error under subsection 3, part D. It refers to WAC 230-15-190. That should actually read 186. So WAC 230-15-186. Citation there. Again, staff is recommending that we take final action on the amendments to WAC 230-06-025 after holding a public hearing with an effective date of 31 days after filing the Office of the Code Revisor. Alternatively, commissioners could discuss and hold another month.
Thank you.
So thank you, Adam. So one thing, I mean, I feel like this is close, but we're not there yet. So I know in some of the past meetings where this topic's been before us, I am certainly very supportive of trying to make it safer for our licensees in dealing with levels of cash and how to just create a safer environment related to that. The one aspect that I've kind of asked for, and I don't think we're quite there. I mean, must may have been too much, so must write a check. I'm afraid, in my opinion, may does not compel a licensee to write a check in a circumstance. And let's just say, someone goes in, with $100, has a really good day. They live in a bad neighborhood. They win $3,000. They don't want to walk out of there with $3,000. So I understand the concern of the licensee with the must language of the potential of money laundering activities. So I think we still need to figure out where that sweet spot is of making it safer for our licensees, providing adequate and appropriate AML protections. On the side there, I think we have, a relatively new commissioner. Hopefully by next month we'll have our 5th commissioner. So there's probably an opportunity to do a little more education on AML. And I know it's been maybe a year or two since I've really thought about AML, so I could probably use some more education as well. So I can't support this version. I would like to see staff work with the proponents, and I'm willing to, do some work as well and try to find language that kind of adds that consumer protection without diminishing anti-money laundering efforts that our licensees do.
So you're looking for something in between less than May.
Tough one. I tried yesterday. I couldn't, I didn't come up with it. But this, I believe that we have to do some customer or consumer protection aspects here and kind of compel.
Should write a check.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't want to try to wordsmith it right here, but yeah, those are the kind of three things I want our rule when we get to final passage to do.
Senator Conway?
Muted, sir.
I'm wondering if the size, you mentioned $2,000 to $3,000 here, obviously those are big amounts. But maybe what we need is a requirement around the size of the amount of money that needs to be given to the participant. And so that if they know they have a $2,000 or $3,000 winner, they need to make some kind of a effort to figure out a way to reimburse them. I mean, you know, if they have to do that for a person who's won $100, I can imagine why they'd like to have some discretion. But if they're talking about someone who's won $2,000 or $3,000, you know, that may be the area that you need to look at. Just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions by commissioners? Any public comments?
Motion or just move forward.
So this was up for final action today, so I think a motion should be. I think a motion to continue with this to another approach, and then if depending on the language that comes back, depending on how much of this extension difference there is, additional action will be done.
Right, I move that we hold this rule up and not take final action until staff can work with stakeholders further.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say aye. Aye. All right, moving on.
If you're all in favor, right?
We only need 3 to adopt. The majority can make this decision.
Short break.
All right, we will take a short 5-minute break.
Madam Chair, I'm just wondering, I'm sitting here virtually, and do we have a way of getting to the executive session? Will you move me to the executive session, or do I need to move myself?
That's why I didn't.
Senator Conway, we're on a break for 5 minutes.
That's why I didn't.
Yeah, I know. Right.
So,
Is it personal?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
An email will be sent to the section.
You're breaking up, so I'm not sure what you're directing me to do.
An email will be sent to you for executive session.
What?
Yeah, the issue. I'll call it.
Oh.
Tina or Tina Griffin.
Hi, Tina.
Has been agreed to be moved forward to next month for further discussion. Next, we move to tab 5, which is a default motion with add.
Yes, thank you. This default concerns an individual named Brian M. Goldberg. The Washington State Gambling Commission issued Mr. Goldberg a manufacturer's representative license, authorizing him to work as a representative for Lightning Leader. This license expires in March of next year, 2025, and was issued subject to Mr. Goldberg's compliance with state gambling laws and commission rules. On June 25th, 2024, the Washington State Gambling Commission received an email from a licensing agent with the Kalispell Tribe, the Tribal Gaming Agency, notifying WSGC that one of their gaming vendors, Mr. Goldberg, had recently been charged with 6 felony counts of child molestation. At the time, Mr. Goldberg was employed as a manufacturer's representative for Light Wonder, a gaming vendor for KTGA, the Kalispell Tribal Gaming Agency. The KTGA also provided WSGC with Mr. Goldberg's criminal charging documents, which showed information was filed in Spokane County Court on May 28th, 2024. Mr. Goldberg was charged with 2 counts of child molestation in the first degree, 2 counts of child molestation in the second degree, 1 count of child molestation in the third degree, and 1 count of indecent. These offenses occurred at various times between December 1st, 2020 and July 7th, 2023, which Mr. Goldberg would have been between the ages of 54 and 57. On June 28th, 2024, WSGC received an email notification from Light Wonder stating that the company will be terminating employment for failure to notify Light Wonder and the appropriate regulatory agencies of his criminal charges. Executive Director Tina Griffin issued administrative charges on August 6, 2024, alleging that Mr. Goldberg's above actions violated WAC 230-03-085, subsection 1, 8, and 9A, WAC 230-06-085, subsection 1, RCW 9.46.153, subsection 1, and RCW 9.46.075, subsection 1, 7, 8, and 9. The charges allege that Mr. Goldberg's actions demonstrate a disregard for statutes and rules promulgated, and that he poses a clear threat to the effective regulation of the game. Mr. Goldberg was sent the charges by regular mail on August 6th of this year to the last address the Gambling Commission had on file. Pursuant to WAC 230-17-010, a response was required to be received by the Commission by August 29, 2024. We have not received a response to this date from the You may take final action against Mr. Goldberg's gambling license, combined Mr. Goldberg's pending criminal charges and failure to notify WSGC of those charges demonstrates the licensee poses a threat to the effective regulation of gambling. Commission can take final action against Mr. Goldberg's gambling license under case number CR 2024-01120 pursuant to RCW 9.46075. RCW 34.05.440, RCW 34.05.461, and WAC 230-03-085. Staff recommends that the commission sign the proposed final order and revoke Mr. Goldberg's gambling license.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from commissioners? Right, Mr. Goldberg here. Right, any public comments?
I move to revoke Brian M. Goldberg's manufacturer representative license number 23-01694 as presented by staff.
Those in favor say aye.
Second.
Oh, sorry.
Second.
Second, been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Right, motion passes. Thank you. We will now take a 10-minute break. Or first, we'll see if there's public comment on anything that we've discussed today. General public comment. We did receive written comment from Nancy Watson on September 10th, 2024, which is included in the online commission packet and was received by the commissioners. Next, we will take a 10-minute break and then enter into executive session for 1.5 hours. The next commission meeting will be at the Washington Utilities and Transportation Commission in Lacey on October 17th and 18th.
Everybody, we are extending our executive session for 1 more hour and we will come back and adjourn at that time. Take care of our agenda items for today. It is now 12:28 p.m. and we are adjourned. Thank you.